Epstein Island was like Disney World for rich and powerful perverts, because non-rich, non-powerful perverts would just go to Disney World.
Say, you want to come inside my clubhouse?
There are only two types of people in America: those who wanted the Epstein files released and those who were in the Epstein files. But why were so many people interested in seeing what's in these files? Why was this such an important issue? Well, when we hear about a man offering his influential friends and acquaintances a twisted paradise where they can have their way with young girls, we want to know who was involved. And since Epstein was apparently recording his friends and acquaintances in compromising positions in case he needed to blackmail them, we want to know who was being extorted and what they may have done to keep Epstein happy. But here's what's interesting. As sick and depraved as Epstein and his island paradise were, they're an absolute joke compared to Allah and his eternal paradise. Allah is the ultimate Epstein, and you're about to find out why. I'm sure you've heard of the houris Muslims will be given in paradise. These are the virgins Muslim men will spend eternity deflowering. We read about these houris in several passages of the Quran. Here's Surah 56, verses 10 to 40. And the foremost shall be the foremost. Wow, that's profound. They are the ones brought nigh in gardens of bliss, many from those of old and few from those of later times, upon embroidered couches, reclining upon them, facing one another. Immortal youths wait upon them with goblets, ewers, and a cup from a flowing spring, wherefrom they suffer neither headache nor stupefaction, with fruits as they choose, and the meat of birds as they desire. And there shall be wide-eyed maidens, the likeness of concealed pearls, as a recompense for that which they used to do. They hear no idle talk therein, nor incitement to sin, save that peace, peace is uttered. And the companions of the right, what of the companions of the right? Among thornless lote trees, clustered plantains, and extended shade, gushing water, and abundant fruit, neither out of reach nor forbidden, and upon raised beds. Truly we brought them into being as a new creation, then made for them virgins, amorous peers, for the companions of the right, many from those of old, and many from those of later times. So, we've got the wide-eyed maidens who will be virgins. In his commentary on this passage, Ibn Kathir quotes Muhammad for more detail. The Messenger of Allah said, "In paradise, the believer will be given such and such strength for women." Anas said, "I asked, 'O Allah's Messenger, will one be able to do that?' He said, 'He will be given the strength of 100 men. Just don't ask him how you get the strength of 100 men. Am I right? Someone else asked, "O Allah's Messenger, will we have sexual intercourse with our wives in paradise?" He said, "The man will be able to have sexual intercourse with 100 virgins in one day." If you're wondering how Allah's not going to run out of virgins, keep in mind, He's the best of planners. Here's what He's going to do. Every time you have sex with one of your virgins, Allah will turn her back into a virgin. As we read in Tafsir Jalalain, Quran verses in bold, explanation not in bold, "Verily, we have created them with an unmediated creation, namely the wide-eyed houris. We created them without the process of birth and made them virgins, immaculate. Every time their spouses enter them, they find them virgins, nor is there any pain of defloration." That's thoughtful. This is how a Muslim man can have sex with 100 virgins every day. Allah keeps restoring their virginity over and over and over forever. But what else do we know about these virgins? Turns out there's an interesting verse of the Quran that talks about their breasts, but the verse gets translated in very different ways. Here's Arbery's translation of Surah 78, verses 31 to 34. Surely, for the God-fearing awaits a place of security, gardens and vineyards and maidens with swelling breasts, like of age, and a cup overflowing. Arbery translates this as maidens with swelling breasts. There are Muslims who think this verse is about large, fully developed breasts, and they'll say this means that the women are fully grown, somewhere around 33 years of age. But other translations say something quite different. Here's M.H. Shakir's translation. Surely, for those who guard against evil is achievement, gardens and vineyards and those showing freshness of youth equals in age, and a pure cup. Shakir doesn't even mention breasts. Why is that? Well, as Muslim scholars have explained, Surah 78 verse 33 isn't about swelling breasts. It's about a stage of development. The verse is about girls with budding breasts. Their breasts are just starting to form. This is why Shakir translates it as those showing freshness of youth who are all the same age. But don't take my word for it. You can find this in various commentaries, but the Muslim scholars at Islam QA have put together a nice article for us. The article begins by pointing out that to understand the verse, you have to learn how the expression is used in Arabic. Then the scholars explain. Based on that, we say to you that with regard to the literal translation of the word kawa'ib, that's the word Arbery translated as swelling breasts because he didn't understand how it's used in Arabic, it is the plural of the word ka'ib, which refers to a female with developing breasts, as it says in Majmal al-Lugha. Ibn Faris, may Allah have mercy on him, said, Kab comes from a sound root that is indicative of a thing beginning to develop and emerge. From the same root comes the word kab, which refers to the ankle, which is the bone on the two sides of the lower leg where it meets the foot. And the word Kaaba, which refers to the house of Allah, may he be exalted. It is so called because of its prominence and its square shape. A woman is described as a ka'ib when her breasts begin to develop. And here are some sources. This is the literal meaning of the word in terms of linguistic roots. So the word ka'ib refers to a girl whose breasts are just starting to form, and it's related to the word kab, which refers to the little bone that sticks out on the side of your ankle. Then the scholars give an example of what they're talking about by showing how the Arabic word for menstruating can be used to mean literally menstruating or to refer to a stage of development, someone who's reached the age of menstruation. And they continue. We may say something similar about describing a woman as ka'ib in Arabic. It is not intended as an erotic, physical description of any part of the woman's body, as much as it is intended as a description of the girl in terms of the emergence of the signs of femininity in her as an indication of her young age and youthfulness so that men would be attracted to her. At this age, the signs of femininity begin to appear in the girl. The point of using this word is not to describe the size of the breasts or to note their form or shape. Rather, the purpose is to highlight the woman's youthfulness. Ibn al-Jawzi, may Allah have mercy on him, said, the woman is a tifla, little girl, when she is small, walida, when she begins to walk, then a ka'ib, when her breasts begin to appear, then a nahid, when they increase in size, then masr, when she reaches the age of puberty, then khawd, when she reaches the age of a young woman. Did you catch that? She's a ka'ib when her breasts begin to appear, and that's 2 stages before she reaches the age of puberty. Here they consider menstruation as the beginning of puberty. Why is this significant? Well, according to their system, a ka'ib is a prepubescent girl. Doctors today treat budding breasts as a sign of early puberty. Breasts begin to form during Tanner stage 2. But in Islam, Tanner stage 2 is still prepubescent. What does this mean? Well, if the houris of paradise are all the same age, and they're all Tanner stage 2 forever, then according to Islam, every single Muslim man will spend eternity deflowering prepubescent girls. Allah will make sure that all of these prepubescent girls are virgins every time the Muslim men have sex with them. And Muslim women who somehow make it to paradise will spend eternity watching their husbands deflower prepubescent girls. Allah is therefore the infinite Jeffrey Epstein, and his paradise is the infinite Epstein Island. Actually, now that I think about it, Muhammad was the one who was using these promises of an infinite Epstein Island to gain control over people. So Muhammad would be the infinite Jeffrey Epstein. Ghislaine Maxwell was the one who would recruit the girls, so Allah would be more like the infinite Ghislaine Maxwell. He's providing the girls. But remember, one of the reasons so many of us wanted the Epstein files released was that we wanted to know what sort of people were joining Epstein on his little island. Kind of makes you wonder what sort of people would be drawn to Islam by promises of an eternity of deflowering prepubescent girls. Sounds like someone needs to release the Islam files. Oh wait, they already did.
It just backfired on you. It just backfired on you. This is a part of a religion. There's a reason to it. Yeah?